I had to go up the mast today to work on pulling some cables and then to get a couple things done at the top of the mast. And I had a cup of coffee this morning and I set it on the cabin top as I was getting everything ready and then forgot about it. After I got the top of the mast done and I moved down to the middle of the mast, Kelly was helping me with something, and as she was helping me with it, we were on the phone with each other, and she's like, oh my God, everything's falling over because the boat got really rocky. There was a bunch of waves coming through, so it got really rocky. She came running upstairs and it turned out my coffee cup fell in the water. So she had floated across the water over to the small pier, the second pier that's right next to us. And she tried to run over there and get it from there, and she walked all the way down our pier, which is a long way, all the way out the other pier, got there, and it had just made it too far for her, so she had to walk back up the pier, walk over to the next pier over, and then go over and wait for like 10 minutes for it to float over. So she got it. She used her big long arms to retrieve it, and we're not wasting or littering in the world, and I didn't lose my coffee cup. I like that coffee cup too, so, but I'm gonna have to do something nice for tonight. Sitting behind me is our dinghy, which basically is our car. It's our little way of getting around whenever we want to get off the boat and go to shore, and it's a pretty trusty dinghy. It's been in my family since 1998 probably. I think it was with us whenever we sailed across the ocean. My family did back whenever we crossed the Atlantic and lived in the Med. It was kind of my older brother's car at the time because he was like in that teenager phase where he needed some independence. So my parents got him his own little car to go around in. So this one's been in the family for a while. It's in good shape. All of the fabric's in great shape. It's been stored indoors, hasn't really been exposed to a lot of sunlight and everything else that really breaks down the fabric. So it's all in really good shape. I've left it blown up for probably a week, and it's held its pressure without any issues. There was one issue though. It is a wood floor. It actually deflates all the way down. There's a wood floor that you insert into it whenever you blow it up, and there's this inflatable center keel that sits in the middle of it that actually pressurizes that wood floor and then gives the bottom of the boat a little V. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly where it is, but there's a hole in the bottom, or in the keel, in the side. And I looked into whether or not I could repair it, and basically what everybody said is that keel is under so much pressure that you really can't repair it, because no matter what you do, no matter how perfectly you repair it, there's always just that weak spot that whenever you're going through waves and it gets bent and everything else, it's going to rupture eventually. So fortunately, even though this dinghy's old, actually they still make parts for them. The company's still around and they still make spare parts, so I was able to track down a company that could order me the replacement keel for it, and today I'm going to be gluing it in place. Now, while repairing the keel, or repairing the inflatable part of the keel, wasn't really an option because of the fact that it's under so much pressure, gluing it in place isn't a big deal, because really all we need is something that's going to hold the keel sort of steady, and then once we actually put the floor in and pressurize it, that's what actually holds it in place. So it's just really something that's going to kind of hold it to the bottom while we're rolling it up and working with it and everything else, so that shouldn't be a big deal. But done a lot of research on how to actually glue this in place, and I'm hoping I do it right. We'll see. I'm going to give it a shot, so I'm going to get to work. This right here is the dinghy, and this is actually where that center keel is going to go. You can see I've got both of the new keel here and the old keel there. They've got their own little foot pad. That's what I'm actually going to glue down to the floor of the dinghy. And basically I got to start out by getting the old foot pads out for the old dinghy, or for the old keel. So I got to get that out of there, and then I got to buff and sand everything below there, and then buff and sand the actual keel, and apply some cement, and then put it in. The glue I'm using is actually basically just a glorified rubber cement. It's not too much more than that. I've got a little additive that goes into it, and you only put a little small amount, like just a couple drops of it in there, and it's supposed to accelerate how quickly it dries, but it's not really much different than just the good old-fashioned rubber cement that has that real strong odor to it, and that's really all it is. But whenever you actually put it on there and you do it properly and you prep the surfaces properly, it actually holds pretty darn hard. Actually, it looks to me like this thing might have already been replaced at one time. Almost looks like, I mean, it just peels apart so easily. I don't know, maybe it's just old, but it seems like it might not have been the first time. Also, you can see there's some marking on the back of here, so I'm thinking maybe that was just whenever they replaced it before. That was what they were doing. Huh. Oh, there you go. That right there is the blowout. That's where we actually had the issue. That's where it was glued at one point, but not anymore. And that's why we got to replace it. So now that I got this out, I'm going to try to clean some of this up, and then I'm going to get to sanding. Really, I just got to sand the two of them and then get the glue on there. Oh, hey there.
So what's today?
It's a very sad day. Very sad day. Old Bessie here, which I bought her new 9.5 years ago at this point. She's going out to pasture. No, she's moving on to somebody else. As part of this trip, we just decided to get rid of everything, get rid of cars, house, everything like that. So it's been a process trying to get it listed and everything else, and it's crazy trying to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. It is wild, but I found somebody. He's really excited about it. I'm really excited about him having it. It's a beautiful truck. It's been excellent to me. I really can't speak highly enough of it. It's really been really, really good to me and taken us all over all kinds of trips, and it's been instrumental in Kelly and I's early relationship, and I really don't want to let her go, but it's time. It's time. I'm just glad it's going to somebody that's actually going to use it and enjoy it, so that's the big thing. But it's a sad day. Very sad day. I'm going to leave before I cry.
How do you feel?
Good. No, it's sad. I got one last drive, which was nice. The guy asked if I drive it down to him, and it was like 50 minutes away, so I drove it down to him. So I got one last hurrah in the truck, and then we made the exchange, and the cash makes it feel a little bit better.
We'll be hitting the bank up on the way back.
Yeah, so we'll do that, but it is definitely sad to have let it go. I am looking forward to the next truck I get to get, but I'll miss this one. This one will always have a special place in my heart, so that's part of life.
Yeah, my turn will be soon. That'll be very strange to be without a car for the first time in over 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was 16 when I got mine. I'm 35, so 19 years.
When did I get this?
It'll be different.
Well, I haven't had this one that long, but having wheels
makes life a little easier.
Not even that. It's just nice to be able to pick up and go where you want to go, when you want to go, at any time, and being your little vehicle, and lock the doors if it's the middle of the night, and just go. So.
Yep. But this is the decision we made. It feels good to make the decision and have this part done. I was a little stressed about getting it sold, but it's done.
Yeah. So.
On to the next thing.
I'm excited for who's having my car.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna love it.
Yep. Should be good.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, let's go get some goods from the store.
Sounds like a plan.
We are like a day out from leaving the marina, and we're doing laundry, which if you didn't already know, a lot of my clothes can't go in the dryer, so they have to hang up to dry, and I don't want to have them hanging up while we're in the water. I don't want like bay water splashing all over them. It's kind of worthless to wash them for that. So I gotta go hang all my clothes up to dry, and hopefully they're gonna dry before we leave tomorrow. And if you're sitting there being like, why not just put it in the dryer this one time? If they shrink, they're not gonna fit anymore, and then I'm not gonna have any clothes because I don't have a lot of clothes. It's not the worst problem to have in the world, but it's the reason why I don't just throw things in the dryer. So, and it's cold out, so I'm in my jacket. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll be back down here and get some videos done and scheduled, because we're not always going to have internet for the next few weeks while we're on our journey south. So it's been really cool, and can't wait to be able to show you that journey once we do get south and get internet again, so I can post all the new stuff and bring you along with us. It's the day before we've planned to leave, finally, and as luck would have it, George has come down with some type of fever, stomach bug situation that's knocked him out. So he's reluctantly in bed and a little miserable, but tomorrow we're still going to be without a car, The car goes first thing tomorrow morning, so I need to still get out there and finish the last little bit of provisioning, which is all the fresh fruits and vegetables and a few little knickknacks here and there. So I gotta get out and do some errands. Poor George, he's over here not feeling so well. I'm gonna peek in on him really quick. See if I can get you and me. How are you?
Not great. No, not great. It stinks because all the big transitions, it seems like I come down with something. Whenever I left work, my last day at work, I woke up the next morning with COVID. And we're about to leave on our trip, and now I got this. So I keep getting the shakes and chills and crashing off fevers, but I'm alive, so sorry I'm not there to help with the provisioning.
It's okay. The best time to get sick is now, so it's okay. Alright, feel better, boo? I'll see you later.
What's going on up here?
Trying to dry my hair, but I don't have a hair dryer. But we have a heater, if anyone's been wondering how we're surviving with it being like 30 degrees at night. We got this tiny heater about, I don't know, whenever it started getting into the 40s at night, we broke down and got a little heater. Before that, we were just using like 3-wick candles and babysitting them because we don't want to fall over.
We were imagining that the 3-wick candles were giving us heat.
The 3-wick candles took the edge off.
Just a bit.
Back when it was like high 50s, but not so much anymore. But since we're still plugged in, we can still use this. Not for long, because today was the day we were supposed to leave. But George wasn't feeling very well. He came down with some type of stomach bug. But as you can hear, he's in the background giggling, so he's on the mend. So maybe tomorrow is the day we leave. But the reason why I'm trying to do this instead of just going wet hair until it dries is our friends invited us to come over on their boat. And it's cold outside, and I don't want wet hair. And I don't know that there's a lot of wind, but any wind is freezing in this weather with wet hair. So trying my best to not freeze to death tonight. It'll be good. But yeah.
Good luck with that. I'll leave you to it. Inching my way closer to getting back into the land of the living. I finally was able to eat a little something a day, so I'm feeling a little bit better after that, trying to get some fluids in me, and also just trying to get things done so that we can actually get out of here. As you can see behind me, the cabin's a little bit of a mess. We brought the solar panels in, we had some new groceries and a bunch of stuff like that, so we're trying to figure out where to stow all that away since I can't install them yet, so that we are ready to get out of here. Plus, our friends want to see the boat because they haven't gotten to see the inside of it yet, so we got to get it ready for that. I'm going to get to it.
It shockingly worked out pretty nicely that George got sick. Not that he got sick, but that we're here for an extra day and we have almost everything done. So it's kind of just been like a chill day. And a lot of our friends have been stopping by and saying bon voyage, and we're actually getting a chance to talk to them for once instead of just getting a couple words in and then having to get back to some other job or something so that we can leave. So right now we're over our friend's boat, actually doing some happy hour drinks and some dinner and getting a chance to catch up, which we wouldn't have been able to do if we left today. So although it's a bummer that George got sick, it's really nice that we're getting a chance to see our friends. I'm here back at our boat just to grab a couple of things to bring back over there. It's pretty refreshing to get a chance to hang out with some people and take a breather before we leave.
What happened?
I don't know. Why don't you tell them what you did?
Which part? Dropping the diesel fill cap in the water?
Yes.
There was that.
And when did you do that?
That was this morning.
And what was this morning?
When we were supposed to be leaving?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I did do that. We finally, as you can tell from the fact that the water behind us is moving and the diesel engine is running, we're underway. We finally shoved off. It's been a long road to get here. A long, long road, but we're finally there. And Kelly had to run out with her parents to go take care of something, and so a friend of ours was like, hey, let me help you get over to the fuel dock, because we needed to top off our fuel and do a pump out. So he helped me get over there, and as I was finishing up filling up the fuel tank, I dropped the fill cap that plugs up where we fill it up in the water.
Yep.
So we had to run around to scramble to try to find one of those because it's possibly going to rain and we don't want water to get down in there. And yeah,
It's
there is a
raining.
little bit of rain out
It's
there
raining.
right now. So it's always an adventure.
When were we originally supposed to leave?
We're supposed to leave yesterday, which as you've probably already seen, I came down with some sort of a bug. I don't know what it was, but it waylaid me for the better part of 24 hours. And then now I'm feeling all right. Woke up with a little bit of a headache, but I'd say I'm recovered and feeling okay. So
Are you sure you want to go on this trip?
I'm sure I want to go on this
You keep coming
trip.
up with things.
I keep coming up with excuses. It keeps
Yeah.
getting pushed back. But we are underway.
And where are we underway?
We are in...
I just mean where are we going after? Are we going back to the marina? Because
No.
we've been underway before.
We have, yeah. No, we're not going back to the marina. We are finally venturing out into the world to go see what it has to offer. So we're headed for Point South, and we're going to figure it out as we go and make the best of our little adventure here.
Yep. So we're somewhere in the Chesapeake Bay right now, and we'll be somewhere south at some point. So.
Very excited to finally be underway. And we're using our fancy electronics too. I've got a route planned out on our chart plotter, and our autopilot's steering us along it. We're about to actually make a turn. Oh! Let's see if it does it.
Turning?
Here it goes.
Ooh, I feel it.
Is it turning?
I don't know. That was a little wave that turned us a little bit.
Here we go. It's starting to turn.
Wait. Yep. No. Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's not doing
It'll
anything.
turn. We're probably not actually on the waypoint yet. You're so zoomed out.
Yeah, that's probably true.
The boat's like this big on the screen, but this big on the screen is a lot bigger than our boat.
Yeah.
So. But and with autopilot, I'm still gonna be sitting up here watching because you don't just let it autopilot without a babysitter. Especially with all of the crab pots that are. I thought I saw one. It was a reflection just now. Especially with all the crab pots in the Chesapeake. There are not as many right now because it's cold and not really crab season anymore. But there's still some out there, and I'm sure somebody out there isn't even going to collect theirs. It'll be out all winter because they're just done with the hobby because they're a private person doing it for funsies. So I'll be up here crab pot watching as usual.
Yep. So I got to go down and organize it downstairs because we actually have some good wind. We're hoping we'll be able to pull out the sails in a minute, but everything downstairs is a mess because I was organizing. So I'm going to go do that. You keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
You get down there so everything doesn't go whoosh off the table.
Exactly.
So, all right, have fun.
Yep. See ya.